I was supposed to read it carefully.
I think so. These stories are about you and I just not being able to read. That's what this story is.
What I should have done was just given it to Maui to look at.
Oh.
Because she reads. You're listening to Ticket to Anywhere, an award-winning travel essential podcast hosted by Leah and Trizzy, two Asian American women with 23 years of combined travel experience.
We are your first stop to infinite travel, giving you the gear, tools, and tips for a more travel-filled life.
Welcome back to another episode of the Ticket to Anywhere podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Trizzy at TrizzInc.
And I'm Leah, LA in flight. I don't know what this... Hi!
It's a new way to say hi.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy 2025. This is a year from the future.
Hey.
Like, it sounds so futuristic, no?
It does.
It
yeah.
does.
I think like years ago, people have made movies and predicted how 2025 was going to be like.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, but even more important, everyone, it is our 5-year anniversary today. January 15th is when we dropped our first episode 5 years ago, right before the pandemic, which was wild times, right? And now we made it through and we are celebrating 5 years. And for those that don't know, we just got named Best Travel Podcast by the Women in Podcasting Awards. So it is one of the greatest honors of our 5 years being on this planet as a podcast. So thank you so much to everyone who believed in us and voted for us, because we're going to keep making wonderful, wonderful content just for you.
It's so fun. Aww.
And in addition to that, happy episode
100.
Can you believe
Damn.
it? I know. Triple digits. Y'all know the stat is that 50% of podcasters don't make it past an episode 7.
Now we're hearing triple digits.
Triple digit. And we're going to make it to 4 digits.
Ooh.
We will.
Oh my gosh. Until we're grand old.
Yep, exactly. Oh, how exciting.
Yeah. And then we wanted to celebrate our 100th episode and our 5-year anniversary by telling y'all our travel mistakes.
Yeah. Everything we've done wrong.
It's fun. It's just a fun, I think that's part of our personality too. We don't really take things too serious. That's why the podcast has been going on forever, because we have fun with it. So
also, like, what better way to be like, yeah, we just won Best Travel Podcast. Yeah, 100 episodes. Yeah, 5-year anniversaries. But like, listen to all the times we messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like, it ranges from, the beginning stages of our travel life to even more recently too.
Yeah, like literally like 2 years ago.
Maybe in like 5 years, we'll see if we make any more mistakes, and then we'll add it to our 200th episode.
I feel like in 5 years, we're going to be talking about mistakes we made like this year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Definitely. Like it happens, unfortunately, but this is, I don't know. I look back and I'm like, okay, we won't ever do that again. But that was fun. And sometimes the wrong thing actually turns out to be the better thing.
Right. But and a lot of times, like, when you're making the mistake, you don't know it's a mistake sometimes, Yeah. You're just like, okay, well, survival mode.
Yeah. And you kind of don't take accountability till later. You just start blaming everything and everyone.
Oh, and you'll see that in this episode. Like, where were the people? Where was the signage and the people?
You're just like, it's not my fault. No, don't you dare.
How could I ever do this?
We're so flawless. How? The mistake we never make, though, is providing you guys with our coffee and tea of the episode.
Yeah. And drinking it in general, we never make that mistake.
Never.
So today, I'm starting off by supporting Black business and drinking a pistachio oat milk latte from Hilltop Coffee and Kitchen, which now has 3 locations in Los Angeles.
What's the third one?
I think like downtown LA or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But yeah, they're on La Brea, Slauson, downtown LA. And I think they rose to fame. Well, one, they have amazing food and coffee, cool cafe. But Issa Rae features Hilltop in her show Insecure.
Yes, on HBO Max. So go check it out and we could chat about it too, because love that show.
Yeah.
Yes. I am drinking hojicha. Just hojicha, no latte. Just straight up hojicha.
I love hojicha now because of you.
Oh, nice.
So now whenever I see it, Because when we went to, was it Fika Fika?
Fika Fika, that's
out
right.
in Pasadena. I fell in love with that latte also.
Yeah, it was so good.
Oh
it's
my
just
gosh.
roasted green tea, and the roast is like very smoky, charcoal. If you guys love that flavor, it's like chocolate basically.
Delicious.
Yeah, so good. So that's what
well,
we got.
Cheers to 5 years and 100 episodes and all the big mistakes
we've
ever made.
Cheers. We're not the perfect expertise travelers that you think we are.
We're not.
But still, we do give out really good tips for all these troubles that we've came across, and we always got solutions too. So do you want to start with
I want to start us off. Okay. One of my biggest travel mistakes of all time. Actually, I don't know if you know this. I paid for my Argentine visa twice. So you need, and this was back in 2015 when I paid for it, right? December, like the last week of December 2015. I had decided that year I'm going to go backpack South America in 2016. So if you know, you know, we have a huge episode on backpacking South America. It was one of my favorite years in life, but you had to have a visa at the time. I think it's still the case now, but back then you did. So you have to apply, and it only takes a few minutes, and then you have to pay like a couple $100s. I think at least $200, right?
Oh my gosh, that's a very expensive visa.
It is a very expensive visa. And so I did it, and I was like, yay, print it all out. You know, I wanted like the hard copy as well as the digital copy. I printed it all out, just a week to go till the trip. And I look at it, and my birth name that I've had since birth was misspelled by me. Was literally just like a slip of the finger.
Oh, no.
Spelled my surname incorrectly.
There was no autocorrect at that time.
Absolutely not. And they tell you a billion times, like, get this right because this cannot be changed. So in the process, so I literally printed out, I'm like, there's no way this can be. There's no way this can be.
Was it like Leah?
No, my last name.
Oh.
So it was like literally missing a letter. And I look at it, and I think I started crying.
Oh yeah, I would too.
Because I had saved up money for a year. I was planning on traveling for a year. And so at that point, every penny mattered. Right? And it was so expensive. I wasn't working. It was $200. So expensive. But I was like, there's no way immigration is going to let me into the country with my last name misspelled on a visa. And so I freaking went through the whole process again, triple checked, made sure no butterfingers on the keyboard, paid another $200 and printed it out again. All the while I was crying the whole time.
Yeah.
Tears streaming.
No, that's the responsible thing to do.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to like forge it, Photoshop, and
No, or like just showing up and be like, it'll be fine.
Right,
and then they're like, nope, sorry, get on the first flight back to LA. Could you imagine?
Yeah. And that's the nice thing that they would do. They could have detained.
They could have. They could have done like a cavity search, like for God knows what reason. They could have done all kinds of weird stuff and just to make fun of me. Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
But that's so much money. That's like $500 out or $400 out.
And then I do remember, freaking visas. I do remember this story, but I didn't know why you had to do it twice.
Oh my God.
That was the case.
Anyways, don't make that mistake, everyone. No butterfingers on the laptop. No paying for visas twice.
Keep it secure.
Yeah.
Keep it secure just like your body, because my body was not secure in my first mistake. Not my first, but I would say my most recent travel mistake. This is definitely last year, May 2023. We were in Indonesia, specifically Gili Tea. And there was like a snorkel tour that we wanted to do, and we were super excited for it because we got to see those underground statues by Gili Menos.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything was going well, and we usually like to take smaller tour groups, either because we're so used to the Philippines.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're used to kind of like private tour, just ourselves.
Just renting a whole boat out for ourselves,
yes,
private lunch.
But with this, we didn't really have any connections, and we didn't find like the snorkeling tour beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So we purchased it when we got there. And so it was like huge group of people. They sent out like 3 boats at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
And these boats were like long. They probably had like 25 people on there each. And they don't offer life jackets on the boat.
What?
Yeah. They don't. Yeah. There was nothing on the boat. You know how in the Philippines, the boat can't leave until they do a check.
Yeah, that Philippine Coast Guard.
Yeah.
Don't mess around.
Exactly. So we were on the boat, and then we just leave, no life jacket. But at that time, Maui and I were very confident that we don't need life jackets because in the Philippines, we've done it. We snorkeled in Marsa Alam, which is in Egypt, with no life jacket, and we were fine. Gili T is a different beast of an ocean water, I guess. We went to our last stop of the snorkel tour, and no instructions from our tour guide. He just said, jump in the water and snorkel for about 30, 40 minutes. So we jump in the water, and all of a sudden, the waves is just like, we're trying to swim it and enjoy what we're seeing, like the corals. But we noticed that when we're swimming, all of a sudden the corals we can't see anymore because we've been pushed so fast by the waves. It engulfed us basically. So
wait, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How did it look before you jumped in?
It
Do you know
looked,
what I mean? You know when you can tell waters are kind of scary?
It did look wavy.
Okay.
But our boat wasn't like rocking.
Okay.
I guess in motion you can't really tell. When you can't tell by the motion.
Okay,
but once you stop, but he kind of like, when we stopped, he was like, jump off. So we didn't even get to really be on the boat to experience if it is wavy or not. So we just jumped right off. And yeah, the waves were eating us alive, and we were just trying to struggle and trying to get to, I lift up my head just to see where the boat is. I can't find our boat. We don't know where we drifted. We either drifted super far away, or he moved elsewhere, or the boat moves elsewhere. So I'm trying to keep calm. Maui's trying to keep calm.
Was it just you two, or like
there was other people? But other people, they felt like comfortable. So Maui ended up swimming to the nearest boat.
Okay.
So she got on there, but I luckily was able to kind of calm my mind down and swim and found our other boat, or found our boat on the other side.
You two were on different boats.
We were on different boats going back to Gili T on shore. And I found our boat. It was on the other side of the snorkeling point. And there was other people already like checked out of the snorkeling.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't just us. Maybe other people felt the same. But yeah, we didn't have life jackets. We thought we'll be okay. But all in all, no, that humbled us. So if you don't see a life jacket, ask for a life jacket.
Yeah, you can. I feel like you can always ask for one.
Yeah.
I feel like not everyone can swim well.
Exactly.
I'm not a good swimmer. Okay, how did you get yourself to like calm down though?
Well, during that time, I was on a medical leave from work. So I had a lot of tools in my toolbox, techniques from like my therapist, and just like going into any like anxiety, any high stress situation, I just trying to like pull whatever I can to just calm my mind down. And basically you kind of fight or flight situation. Yeah. I knew I could swim, I'm not a good swimmer, but I knew I could swim, right? Yeah. I knew I could stay afloat. So that was like the only thing that I thought about at first initially. So I was like, I'm just going to have to like float in one spot, calm myself down. And then once I'm like, okay, then I'll try and start swimming, moving, even if my shoulders were hurting. Yeah. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. You just slow down and think of what you have, I guess.
That is kind of scary because now I'm adding another story to this because you reminded me of that.
Yeah.
But okay, well.
But yeah.
You did explain some of that, but I don't think I knew like the whole gist of it. So.
Yeah. So luckily we are back here alive, and we know to not be so cocky when it comes to open water.
But I think I think open water and diving and snorkeling, even just snorkeling, will humble you and think, because like, oh, you're a good swimmer. Yeah, you're a good swimmer in a very calm, still water pool in your backyard.
Or in the Philippines where it's just beautiful, and kuyas and ates will help you.
But in the ocean, in the open ocean, I think that's also why it's like I've wanted to take lessons since. I'm gonna save my dive story for last though. But yeah, I basically come back from all of these islands and oceans thinking that like I actually don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
But I think it also depends on where you go in the Philippines, because like the last story that I'm adding is
that's right. Yeah.
It humbled me. Okay. Next big mistake. This one could have completely been avoided, and it was not avoided. So just avoid it. That's my lesson up front. So, as you know, 2016, I backpacked South America, and my last leg was leaving, Peru to go to Cabo San Lucas in Mexico for a friend's 30th birthday. And before that, or in order to do that, I had to leave Cusco, where I was bartending for like 6 weeks. And I had to stay one night in Lima and then fly Lima to Mexico City, and then Mexico City to Cabo. Anyways, that's only supposed to be like 72 hours. The biggest part was starting that journey, because I was having so much fun bartending in a hostel in Cusco in Peru. Shout out to Loki. I they always try to get people, the bar staff is so funny. They always try to get people to like not leave. They would literally offer incentives of like, here's a blood bomb, or here's a whole free bottle if you like burn your plane ticket right in front of us.
That's so funny.
And like so many people would extend their stays that way, but I had a friend's 30th birthday to be at. So it's like, well, I can't miss this flight, because if I do, I'm going to miss the day in Lima, and then I'm going to miss the day in Mexico City, which will miss my flights to Cabo. So as we're saying bye to everyone, I was supposed to like catch a bus. Actually, I wasn't taking a flight from Cusco to Lima. I was taking a bus, the longest bus ride I personally have ever been on, 22 hours.
Oh my god.
So it was a night bus. Yep. But it was a comfortable like sleeping bus, right? And it left around like 12 noon. Of course, me and this other American guy were taking that same bus, and we're trying to get down to the bus station, but our colleagues were letting us not leave. They were like, here's more shots. And we're like, okay, we're going to miss it so much. And so we kept taking shots and drinking and having fun with everyone. By the time we look at it, we're like, we're not going to make this bus. It leaves in like 10 minutes and the station's like 15, 20 minutes away. And so we're like, let's just try. So we get in the taxi, go down to like the bus station, and they're like, nope, they already left. And we were like, F, what are we going to do? Me and this other American guy he was like 5 years younger than me and a lot less experienced in travel than me. But I was like, oh my God. And I speak a decent amount of Spanish. I'm like, what are we going to do? He speaks zero Spanish. And then someone suggested, they're like, you're going to have to take a car from someone outside, ask them to drive you. You have to race the bus to the next stop, because we will let you use your ticket at the next stop, but you have to find your way there. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this going to cost? Because the overnight bus was probably like $15, $20. That's the whole point in taking it. Like, it takes forever, but it's cheap. And I was like dead out of money by the end of the year. And I was like, oh my God, what is this going to cost? And they were like, some guy was like negotiating with us. He's like, I'll charge you $50 US. It was a 4 hours drive to the next stop.
Deals.
I know. Well, back then I was like, I'm broke. That's so expensive. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. And like, thank God this nice American guy, like his name is Cole. I haven't talked to him in years, but he's like, I'll just cover it. You can just pay me when we get back to the US or whatever. And so I was like, well, I guess we have to do it. We have no other option. Yeah. So we straight up rented a driver outside who raced the bus to the next stop. And we actually got there in a decent time. We got there 10 minutes before the bus did.
Oh, nice.
And it was getting dark by that point. But this could have been completely avoided. And I'm surprised they actually let us use our ticket and not let us buy or not make us buy a
Right.
new one. But it was a nice like overnight bus where like the seats relax and everything. But it was just crazy that we literally had to like race the bus to the next stop, and we made it.
Crazy. Is
All
this
for $50
bus you
US.
do you reserve seating too, or is it like
No,
first come
you don't
first
reserve.
serve?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
first come first serve. So when we did get on the bus at the next stop, we're just like, okay, where's there an open seat? And of course, there were 2 empty seats for us.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. I mean, I was sleeping the whole time, but that was I just hated that one because I'm like, this could have not happened.
Yeah. But you got to take shots.
Yeah.
You know?
I know it's hard to leave.
Yeah.
You know, when
that
you've been
sounds
having
really
fun with people for 2 months or so, they're like they become like your good friends and family. And you know how it is. It's literally, this is why you have to do an Irish goodbye. Like, you can't tell people you're leaving. Yeah, that was my first mistake. Telling everyone that we're leaving. Bye, everyone. Come to the bar and have one last shot. It's never just one last drink.
Damn.
So.
Okay, well, there you have it. We're also, for my second mistake, we're also going to go way back. I dropped my phone in a taxi cab because old Trizzy loved to party as well.
Taxi?
Las Vegas, baby. It was for my sister's bachelorette party. I was in these hoochie shorts. You won't see me wearing those ever again. So these shorts had really, like, basically no pockets. They had pockets, but it's like, why? Why is there a pocket when you can't hold anything? So I just put my phone in there like it is gonna hold my phone. And I guess we left the taxi cab. We got to the Magic Mike show, and then I realized I don't have my cell phone with me, and I was like, damn, this sucks. So I used like my sister's cell phone to call my phone, and the taxi cab driver picked it up. That's how I got in contact with him, and he was just like, I was like, I'll pay you if you come back, and he was like, no, I'll leave your phone. Yeah, he didn't come back. I'll leave your phone at this taxi stand and blah, blah, blah. Gave me the address and everything, and then you could pick it up tomorrow morning, because I guess they were like closing at that time. So
wait, was it a smartphone?
It was, 2010. It was a smartphone, y'all.
Why wouldn't he not have taken it?
There's some honest people around.
I guess so, but hot commodity back then.
For real, yeah. I didn't have a case with it too.
Oh my gosh.
It already shattered.
Your wild days, yeah.
Oh, he didn't take it because it was a shattered iPhone.
Oh, that's why. You got, if you get glass pieces stuck in your finger.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what happened. And my solution to that is, nowadays, what I usually do when I get into an Uber, I put my phone in like my fanny pack. I don't really use it in car rides because one, I do get motion sick, so I don't even look at it.
Yeah.
But it comes to, it's in my advantage because I set it into my backpack and I don't touch it until I get to the airport or to my destination, because I feel like if I were to take it out, I might put it somewhere on the car and forget.
Yeah, and I've seen Trizzy nowadays. She does her like 3 tap touch, and she does the look behind her to make sure she don't forget anything.
Yep.
Close the car door slowly and make sure you don't forget anything.
I'm super careful nowadays.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
That's too funny. Anyways, decade and a half ago, aging ourselves. Actually, my next mistake is something that happened 9 years ago. I feel like I don't even need a story behind this, because any of y'all who are backpackers or know Central America, I brought a big suitcase to Nicaragua. Out of all places. That's it. That's the mistake. I brought a rolling suitcase, you guys, extra large, to Nicaragua for New Year's Eve. And you know what I had in that suitcase? Sweaters. In Nicaragua.
Is it just like hot all year round?
It's Central America. They're so close to the equator. It's just like hot and humid.
She gave us 2 mistakes in one.
And like rolling on every taxi driver that would pick us up and every chicken bus that we were going on, they would just look at me with my big suitcase like, And then the taxi drivers would be like, wow, very heavy. Like, yeah, you got a lot of sweaters. This was literally before I knew. This was like 2 months before I got my first ever backpack, which, expanding on that, my first ever backpack was 80 liters. So
My back hurts just hearing that. Damn.
So many luggage mistakes. But like, yeah, Nicaragua, come on. Half the roads are not built up or smooth there. You're in chicken buses trying to pack people in. And just like a huge, y'all, the extra large suitcase, like the ones you take when you're moving to another country. And I was there for 9 days. That's even worse. I was there for 9 days.
Damn. Do you think 9 days with a 30, what's your Cotopaxi now? 42?
Yeah. Oh, that's more than enough.
That's more than enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So don't be packing sweaters in an 80.
I did like 6 weeks in the Philippines on my 42
There you go.
Cotopaxi.
See, your evolution.
But you just got exactly. I mean, that was like 8 years later.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to go to a like tropical climate where you need minimal clothing. That's why, you know what I mean? It's like you can't pack clothing, just pack like shorts and bathing suit tops and sarong.
Did you do any research about the weather beforehand, or?
Well, apparently not. But I think back then I was like, I just was not the traveler I am now. I was like, oh, what if I get cold?
Yeah.
Bruh. Yeah. First off, if you get cold, put a little sheet over you, you'll be fine or something, or like go inside. Like that's just not how it is in Central. I'm like, what if I'm cold on the flight? Oh, so
Sarong.
naive. Yeah, so naive.
Damn. I love it. I love hearing this though.
Oh my god, so funny.
Oh man. Okay. Well, my next mistake was,
a few weeks ago.
No, I know. A few years ago. It was November 2022 when I went to Egypt. And I did mention this in our Egypt episode, but for those who haven't been following us and you're just getting to know us now, this is not what I do now. And I don't know why I decided to do it then in November 2022
too, because this was only like 2 years ago.
Yeah. I trusted a 0-star, no review tour company for a Nile River cruise tour in Luxor going down to Aswan.
Wait, I'm curious. Do you know if they have reviews now?
I haven't even looked at them.
We should look at them. After you say the story, we should Google them.
Yeah,
see.
Definitely. So basically, doing the Nile River cruise, there's a lot more options if you're doing Aswan up to Luxor. But my plan was to do Luxor first and then go all the way down south and then move kind of like to the east side and then go back up to where Cairo is, northern Egypt. I didn't want to start in Aswan and then go to Luxor and then that didn't make sense to me. So I found very few options from Luxor to Aswan on the exact dates that I wanted. So this one had the dates that I wanted. It had the stops and landmarks that I wanted to see. And I noticed that I couldn't find any reviews on TripAdvisor, on Google Maps or anything like that. They don't even have a website. Ooh. So, but they were on Viator, Viator.com. That's where I booked them. Yeah.
What kind of vetting processes are
for
out
reals?
there?
I know. They just let anybody sign up.
They just let anybody, these rats running the city.
So I was like, okay, maybe this is somewhat legit, but they just don't have any reviews yet.
Yeah.
So I was like, support small businesses. Might as well. Let me kickstart them. Let me give them great content.
Oh my god.
So I booked with them and I got the confirmation for Viator. And what usually happens on trips is you get like a separate email or a way of contact from the company itself, and they want to confirm your hotel, the timing of pickup. And I don't know why I didn't realize it immediately, but maybe a week before, I started realizing I don't know if they've ever confirmed. They never hit me up for more instructions, more details about the pickup. So I was like, okay, maybe this is how they operate. I'm good.
Maybe they just manifest where your hotel is.
So we get to Egypt, and the first day, the first 2 days, I was enjoying Luxor, and then the night before the pickup, something in my stomach, I just had like a little knot to it, a twist to it, and I was like, man, let's just hope we get picked up tomorrow. 6 o'clock.
From a ghost company. Oh my god.
6 o'clock in the morning comes. That's when the pickup was supposed to be. We get up, check out, wait in the lobby. 6:15 comes, nobody's there. 6:30, this is not happening. So I talked to the front desk, and luckily the people at the Hilton Luxor, they were above and beyond super helpful, trying to dial whatever information there was on the confirmation. When I called, there was no ringtone. And when I Googled them, when I tried to find them on Twitter, there was like numbers on Twitter. So we tried dialing them, and it led to a different tour company name. This lady tried to help. But she was like, let me try and contact the actual tour company. And Viator had a WhatsApp business communicator. So I was DMing them or texting them on that side too. And they were able to help try and track down the tour company. So all that was happening, and it was just way too late to even hope that they would come. So Viator was able to, refund me full price, which was good.
How much was it?
It was actually okay. This should have been another red flag.
Oh, it was cheap.
It was really cheap.
Oh,
yeah,
damn.
for 2 people, for like a 3 nights, 4-day cruise with meals included and the tour stops, which was like Valley of Kings, Queen Hatshepsut Temple, and in Abu Simbel too in Aswan. It was like $100. No, $150 per person.
See, the scammers were like, oh, they're not going to miss this money. It's too good to be true. They're not going to miss the money.
Luckily, we got it back, thankfully. And then the tour company the tour operator that was at the Hilton Luxor, they jumped in, they saved the day, and we were able to depart that day, still do the tours. And it was even a much better cruise line too, apparently. Probably one of the top ones. But it's like small.
Oh, is this the one where you took the cool video?
Yeah.
Where you're running? Oh, she has the coolest video. You have to insert it here.
Okay, yeah.
The video of her running on the top deck of the cruise.
And it was just gorgeous. The whole experience.
Oh, good. It turned out like better.
It turned out, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a win.
Definitely
and
a
you
win.
Got your money back.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, like, we made an episode about this also we made a video on my personal YouTube page with Maui and Trizzy. And the comments on there, they were so supportive. They were like, props to you for still trying to stay positive after like getting scammed, and like, because we were just very calm with the whole situation.
In my stomach
but
too,
I was
though.
very like,
I would feel the same way, and then I'd start crying.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that is my.
Actually, though, my sisters buy things on Amazon that have no reviews. So it's almost like, it's not exactly the same, but I tell them, I'm like, you guys are ballsy too.
For real. Yeah.
Because how do you buy things? And I'm like, and how did the products turn out? And they're like, yeah, they've been fine. I'm like, I could never do that.
Yeah. It's so sad nowadays how it's validation that we need to.
It is, because what do they do before these online things? People just bought stuff. Yeah. People just took things.
For real.
They weren't like, we don't need word of mouth. We don't need, word of mouth from we don't need confirmation from other people. Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Always go with reviews.
Better, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one I actually explained on one of our episodes. This is one of my more recent mistakes, and I'm very, very embarrassed about this one. So I was flying to London November 2021 for 3 weeks to just work remote, hang out with friends, surprise a friend for her 30th birthday. and I flew LAX to JFK, and I was going JFK to London, and I missed my flight, my connecting flight at JFK, heading to London, because dummy me, literally did not know that I had to change to the international terminal in order to get on my flight to London. I literally thought, because I bought the entire ticket together, that everything was just going to go all the way through. Even myself, I thought I was going to arrive outside the terminal and be like, Miss Leah, come right this way. Right this way, please. We'll show you to your next flight. And so I literally was wandering around the terminal for like an hour and a half, like a dummy. It was emptying out. They were basically closing it. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And I kept hearing on the speaker, like, oh, if you need to catch an international flight, international terminals this way. And I was like, but I don't need to get on an international flight because I bought my entire ticket together. Y'all, this was 3 years ago. This was not like 15 years ago. This was 3 years ago. Like, I was well versed in travel by this point already. And so I spent that, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. It got to 2 hours. It got to 2.5 hours. And I'm still in the same dang domestic terminal, like just wandering around like freaking, what is his name? Tom Hanks in terminal. Okay, I live here now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I'm like, okay, something is not right, because my flight is about to leave in 30 minutes, and there is no gate for my flight. I don't see my flight.
So you kept looking at the board.
Oh, yeah. I kept looking at the board. My flight was not there. My flight was not there. The terminal was like shutting down for the night. Oh, cleaners were going home. The janitors were going home. And I was like, hi, do you know when flight blah, blah, blah to Heathrow is leaving? And no one's like, I don't know. So I booked this through my Amex portal on my card at the time. So I call them, and I'm like crying, and I'm like, hi, like no, sorry. Let's reverse. The time comes, my flight leaves. It was like 1 a.m. I knew this. And I get a call from someone who said they work, let's just say it was like United or something, the United desk or British Airways. And they're like, hi, are you Leah? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, we have your baggage. Like, we were calling your name throughout the terminal, in the international terminal, for the past hour, asking where you were. And I'm like, what? I started crying, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like in my 30s. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you missed your flight. It takes off for the international terminal. And I'm like, can I come pick up my luggage? And like, you have to come get it within the next 15 minutes because we're closing down. And I'm like, okay. So I go over to the international terminal, bawling the entire time as a full-grown woman. Pick up my luggage, sit down on a bench, call American Express, crying. I'm like, I booked my flight. I had no idea I had to go to the international terminal, and then I start blaming it on the airport. There was no signage.
Yeah. I mean,
there was no signage. There was no one on the ground from United like telling me where to go. I literally said that. I was like, no one said where the international flights were. No. And I was just like, I'm so sorry. I need to meet a friend tomorrow. Can you please put me on the next flight to London? And they were like, ma'am, we'll help you. And I was like, I was bawling, but like literally bawling. And so they found me a flight. They didn't charge me anything whatsoever, thank God. But the flight was leaving early the next morning. So I got to London maybe like 15 hours later than I had planned to, which sucked because that cut off a whole day for me. But because of that, and of course I had travel insurance at the time, but I like have never submitted a claim before. But I was like, I can't stay in the airport. Even so, JFK, that one hotel that's there, like booked out, really expensive. So I find, and JFK is not in the greatest area. Yeah. And so I take an Uber to the closest hotel, And that hotel is like, we're booked. And I'm like, but booking.com says you have space. They're like, no, we don't. It's wrong. So now I'm like sitting out front and like it's not in a great area with my huge, because I brought a huge luggage again to London. But I had pea coats and boots in there this time, like for appropriate weather. And so I was like kind of terrified because people are just like driving. It was 2 a.m. 2 a.m. So I go to a Comfort Inn around the corner. It was like $200. And I knew I was only going to be there for like maybe like 7 hours, 6-7 hours. But I paid, I'm like, I need to go to bed. I need a shower. I need to go to bed. So I grab an Uber there, pay it, sleep there, spend 7 hours there, go back to the airport, get my flight, get my new flight, head to London, hours, almost a whole day later than I originally planned to, because I didn't realize that you're supposed to go to the international terminal to take your international flight. That is still one of my most embarrassing stories. Y'all are getting some secret, because I don't tell people that.
True.
So if you're listening to the podcast, you're getting that sneak peek, that classified information.
These are very rough, yeah.
Because I don't tell people
to talk about.
You think I go on Instagram Live and tell people I missed a flight when I was 30-something because I didn't know how to read? Like, because I didn't know that international flights mean international terminals? No, I don't say it. Y'all are getting some good intel.
Yeah, well, speaking of missed flights, I missed a ferry.
Yeah.
And this is another Indonesia story. So another recent.
Dang, Indonesia. Are you in Indonesia? Okay.
I know, Indonesia. What's going on there? All right, we were in Gili Air. We had to go back to the Bali Island. So Gili Air to the Parangbai Harbor. Mm-hmm. There was a fast ferry that we took, Ekajaya. Amazing company, by the way. Highly recommend them.
The crazy ferry?
It's they're bigger.
Okay.
So they're definitely
not
bigger.
The ferry that I took.
So their confirmation that I got in the email had so many numbers and letters and times on it that I think it didn't really occur to me that I was supposed to read it carefully.
I think so. These stories are about you and I just not being able to read. That's what this story is.
What I should have done was just given it to Maui to look at.
Oh.
Because she reads. I just look at the time and I'm like, okay, yep, the time is there and the arrival time there.
That's what it is. It's a time.
Cool. Yeah. So that's basically what happened. We were just chilling in our hotel until the time I thought we were supposed to leave, get to the harbor, check in, and then hop on the boat. But it was maybe when Maui realized, it was 10 minutes before the actual time we were supposed to arrive at the harbor.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
We only had like 10 minutes to get to the harbor. When we got there, well, because we still had to like grab our clothes and everything, we had to check out. We had to pay for the rental bikes that we used.
Wait, and this was in Gili Air,
This
right?
is in Gili Air,
Okay.
So there was still stuff that we had to handle during checkout. So I go, and then Maui, pays for everything, checks out. And it was just too late. It was maybe like 3-5 minutes that we were late. And they're like, no, the ferry left already.
Oh, my God.
But the cool thing with Asia in general, this would not happen in America.
Okay.
They booked us on the next ferry out. Mm-hmm. No additional charges, no nothing. So nice. And they just said, just wait here. And that's it.
How long after was it?
It was just like an hour and a half after. Oh, yeah. So we went to like a cafe nearby and then went back.
Could you imagine if you missed that ferry again? Because
we wanted some cafe. Yeah. So just read, damn it. But I mean,
wait, let me see.
I actually have the confirmation.
Ticket. Okay.
This ticket was
I'm going to read this because I want to see.
So you have to keep in mind that I glimpsed it.
Okay. I'm glimpsing for those of you that are watching on YouTube. Ready? What information do you want me to look for? Glimpsing.
I guess like timing.
What timing though? To be there or
to be there?
10:30 a.m. Departure. Yeah, Event date 11:30. Yeah. Girl.
It's way too many information, unnecessary.
Oh, that's true. I mean, that is a lot of times. That's a lot of times.
For a person who just generally just does not like to look at stuff. So thank goodness that my partner, we are opposites, and she is the one that reads.
She's going to read everything now. Can I end on one story then?
Yeah.
I'll make this a quicker one because this one is in our Philippines episode. This is my dive story where I tell people like I basically flunked out of getting my PADI, which is like a diving certification, but like they didn't fail me. I failed myself. So this links earlier to Trizzy's story about like us feeling like we're not strong swimmers and not confident in our swimming. So when you take like an open water diving course just to get to like the first level of getting your diving certification, generally anywhere that's tropical that has good visibility, right? I wanted to try that in the Philippines. So it's like a 3-day course, couple $100. You go out with a few other people and instructors. So you learn the equipment on land for a few hours, then you get into the ocean after a couple hours and do it. And of course you start in the shallow part of the ocean, so like 5 meters, which is like 15 feet, right? So you can still see the top and whatnot. Well, I think I was confident with the equipment, right? It was only when I got out into the water with all the equipment and I was swimming kind of like perpendicular to the current, if that makes sense. The current's coming to like shore, whatever, but we had to get to the side. So I was swimming like alongside the beach, essentially, with the current coming at me. And I know I could not keep up with the class. And so I was winded. I was embarrassed. I like couldn't literally, like I was like feet, like 10, 20 feet behind the 3 other swimmers there. And the instructor's like, Leah, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. But by the time I caught up to the class, I was like, and I'm like, okay, 1, I don't know how to control my breathing. 2, I'm a weaker swimmer than I thought I was. And 3, I don't have the confidence to go out and do this. So after like a few hours into the first day, I was like, I can't do this. I quit. And the instructor's like, what? And I'm like, I'm confident about that decision that I'm confident in. I was like, I just could not keep up with the class swimming right now. And I don't want to feel that way the whole time. What's going to happen to me when I'm out in open water on the boat and the current is rockier and wavier and it's just open water for miles and miles around where I can't see the beach and I don't have that like safety net, you know? And the instructor was like, okay, but even though I like quit in the middle of the day, I still had to go through the next hour to the next break because she could not swim me to shore. She's not allowed to leave the class. And she is not allowed to leave me floating at the top. I was like, oh, I'll just float at the top. And she's like, no, you have to do everything we're doing. To be honest, I don't know if she was messing with me or not. And because she was trying, when we got back on land an hour later, she was trying really hard to convince me to stay. So I don't know if she was just like messing with me. I mean, yeah, there's potential, but I already gave up. In my heart, I was like, I can't do this. I'm not a strong swimmer. And so she's like, I cannot swim you back to shore. You're not allowed to go alone. And you also cannot stay at the top here alone. So all the exercises we're doing underwater, all the breathing, practicing, etc., you have to come down with us. Just sit on the ocean floor. And I'm like, ugh. So I did, and I felt a little calmer, but I still didn't want to continue the class because I had already made up my mind. And then this solidified it. On the way back, after that hour of those exercises, on the way back when it was ending and I was ready to like leave, depart, break off from the group, you have to be able to defog your goggles quickly while breathing. So think of clearing your visibility, breathing at the same time, all the equipment, keeping up with the class, all of that. And I could not defog my goggles quickly for the life of me while focusing on my breath. And that was on the way back. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, this just like solidified that I don't know what I'm doing. And then I was trying to swim with everybody. And I'm like, how am I supposed to breathe, clear my goggles, and swim at the same time? So we get back on land. I'm like, thank God, kissing the ground. And I was like, I remember in that moment, I was like, I need to go home and take swimming lessons because like I have never felt less confident in my life about my ability to swim. And that was the most embarrassing part, was that I felt like I couldn't keep up with the class. So anyways, I withdrew from that. I paid for a discovery dive, which at the time In the Philippines, it was about $65 US, which is probably like a fourth of what you'd pay for a PADI certification. And I haven't tried it again since. And to be honest, I don't know if I ever will.
What if you get your swimming confidence up?
I don't know. I mean, I've practiced like twice in the past few years. You know, swimming in a pool is so different from swimming in the ocean. But back in the day when I had less confidence, what is this, 4 or 5 years ago, I would be like, I think I just wanted to do it because everyone else was doing it. Isn't that sad that we can still be in our 20s and 30s and thinking like that? But yeah, I think that was why. And it was a big mistake for me because I don't know that I'd do it again.
I feel you too. Sometimes I do feel a little bit pressured to doing some stuff, like whatever is the trend. Like if I see a pretty photo or a footage of underwater stuff, I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that.
Right.
Maybe I will, but no, hold on. Oh man, but thanks for joining us on this
episode full of mistakes. Like, you know, we love to help people and give our expertise, but just know that that's not where we started.
Yeah, we are humans. Like I said earlier in this episode, we make mistakes, we learn from it, and then we share it so that you can avoid it.
So that you will never have to make them again.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, how exciting, 100th episode. So thank you for sharing this with us.
To find even more travel tips on budgeting, destinations, and our favorite items, sign up for our monthly newsletter, The Check-In, linked in the show notes or description.